Yeah, by the time I finished, man, and dude walked up, asked for an autograph, and he said, "Hey, man,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know all of that about." They didn't know simple things
Mm-hmm.
about like like simple things that was like foreign to them, like somebody uh, struggling uh, to put food on the table.
Oh yeah, that
Just
goes.
something that simple, like when you say we ate syrup
Mm-hmm.
sandwiches.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God,
Sugar water, syrup sandwich. Yeah,
you're an animal.
yeah, yeah.
you know?
That's part of the reason I ran. I remember I
Yeah.
was sitting in a certain judge's court. I think it was like 2017, representing a young dude. I think he was like he lived over near Haverstock. And he showed up, got himself in trouble, you know what I'm saying? But it was a misdemeanor. And he had on a white tee and he had like and some jeans. So
Mm,
when I was growing up, I'm black. I was growing up, Jabos and white tee was cool. You shine up, get your little starch, stay
right.
flow, hit your little white tee, get the little, nice and crispy, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't see nothing wrong with it because of my experiences, right? The
Right.
judge was like laying into this guy, but talking about you have on underwear. That was her perception. And at that moment, I'm sitting there like, you got these people sitting on these benches that have no idea of who they're dealing with or representing, have no cultural ideas of what's going on here. For him, in his mind, he's not doing this to be disrespectful. He's not wearing underwear. He just has on a white tee, probably because that's what he can afford. Because you can go down to the store and get some like 3 for $7 or something like that, and that's part of the reason that I was like, I think I need to run because there was a disconnect between those folks that are on the bench back then and what you have now. And that disconnect can cause someone a lot of harm because she's sitting there so offended by, him probably dealing with aspects of poverty. He's not trying to be offensive. He came with what he had. And some people might say, well, oh, you go out and get a polo, this, that, and the third. That goes back to what you're saying. Some people don't understand. Some people don't have much, and they've never experienced it. They don't understand it, don't care to understand it, but then they'll punish you for it and then think it's funny and make jokes
Right.
behind closed doors about it too.
Yeah. Yeah. But you ran because of that disconnect, because of the lack of representation for black people in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
So why did you step down?
So I stepped down because, as my friend Sean Banks, shout out to him. He'll probably watch this and be excited I gave him a shout out. He's a huge fan of yours,
Mm-hmm.
but
Shout out to Sean.
shout out to Sean,
Yeah.
right out there in Florida. But I felt like I was fighting with the people I was fighting for, and that's a hard pill to swallow, and you can only fight with the people you're fighting for so long, and it's like it becomes to a point to where I'm trying to I'm not I'm trying to make things fair for everybody, right? And then trying to make things fair for everybody, getting these conversations where people don't understand, they don't want to listen to it. It's like I don't know if you're familiar with that movie in the books, The Spook Behind the Door.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go and see what happens, as an
Yeah.
African American man
Get on the
in the
inside.
third largest county
Yeah.
in America, and so I'm having knowledge I'm trying to share with folks, and they trying to like dispute it when they they only have one side of the story, and it gets tiring, trying to deal with that, and then there's a lot of political attacks that came my way. I thought, that seemed a bit targeted, and that I got tired of that. Not in the sense of like it wore on me personally. Coming from the military, I was always with, I was an artillery guy. Everybody I was with in my platoon, like let's say a fight broke out, everybody's fighting. When I was in school, if a fight broke out, everybody's fighting. I'm not saying fighting's a good thing. What I'm saying is I was used to being around people that had your back. So I was part of a group of people I think that just really didn't have my back, and I'm not gonna be out here swimming for people drowning for people that won't swim for me. Not happening. So I was like, let me get back to taking care of my family, be with my family, and just go do something else.
Okay, so I hear you, and I really do understand
Mm-hmm.
your explanation. Having said that, when you step down, that's one less brother that we had fighting for us. See, like we gotta have. I don't believe that we have the luxury because we're so far back and we're attacked on a daily basis. We're targeted on a daily basis. I don't think that we have the luxury of not holding the line in regards to getting into those rooms where we can make this difference. And let me just make the point. So, it's like me. I'm in this media space. I was going to lay this down about 6 years ago. I was going to stop doing it because I got tired of fighting for fighting the people that I was fighting for. I'm online. I'm trying to say real shit. Give people information and instructions to help them navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world.
Right.
I could easily turn the camera on and start talking about frivolous stuff. Stuff that don't matter, don't mean nothing. I can show off my cars, my houses, my businesses. I can pull out money all day long, bro. I could do that.
Right.
But I'm like, no, if I'm gonna have your attention, I'm gonna give you some news you can use.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so I'm putting that out there. And who even to this day, I haven't had one white YouTuber come for me. They've all been black. Every single one of them have got something slick to say. It's always been the black ones.
Right.
And we know what type of black ones they are. But my point is that, yeah, I got tired of fighting, you know, for people or fighting people who I was fighting for. So I was like, you know what, man, I don't need this shit. I got other shit. Yeah, I'm making money over here. Well, I'm making way more money over here than I'm making over here. I ain't got to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to let it go. And then I said, you know what? These motherfuckers. I was like, man, I'm not a quitter, and I don't run up these cowards, these chumps. You know, like I'm not gonna let them. That's what they want me to do.
Right.
And I say that because that's what they wanted you to do, DaSean. They wanted you to step down. They wanted to run you off because they know they respect your mind. They respect your mind. They respect your talent. They know that you are for the people. You cannot be bought. And so when you decided to step down, they was like, yeah, you did what they wanted you to do.
I mean,
and I understand that you got your family, you have to consider, because my family is everything to me also. But when I think about that, man, I think that too much is given, much is required.
Yeah. And I agree with most of what you say. So, you know, I always tell people, you know, you're talking about holding the line. So my background is I went to Iraq twice. I think it's an experience most people have never had, and don't. You know, a lot of people didn't make it back. You talking about holding the line. What's important with holding the line, you have to have people supplying the line. And if your own people aren't supplying the line, it's impossible to hold the line. What I mean by that is the tax I was getting was I was in one political party. I was getting taxed from another political party. I literally seen folks go because judges, we can't say anything. Let me make sure you understand that. And I'm a confrontational person. So to not be able to say anything goes against who I am just as a person. Like, you can get on the mic, say whatever. Judge, you get on the mic, you say that, you're going to be in Austin trying to say, why were you even talking about that case, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense what I'm saying to you? So as a person that's confrontational, naturally confrontational, to not be able to say anything is like, it eats you up inside because everyone else isn't saying anything when they can. So you have the judicial, executive, legislative portion of the government. I'm judicial. We can't say nothing. The executive, legislative folks, they have a voice. They weren't speaking. And then, you know, for it to be so important, et cetera, why is it that we didn't hear anything from Texas Democratic Party about the Republicans attacking me? Why didn't we hear anything from Harris County Democratic Party about Republicans attacking me? Everybody knew. I was making the news. I was making national news, but nobody said anything. And I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't hang around with chumps and punks. I don't do that. And so if you're a chump and a punk, I don't want to be a part of that. So, you know, I'm not gonna betray myself to save someone that ain't trying to save me. Not happening. Particularly when I have a family and a son, and I have more important things to do for them. And so, like that's another frustrating aspect of it too. Because when I walked in here, you had people behind the scenes ready to help you with the cameras. You had people behind the scenes ready to greet you. I had none of that, and I'm talking about from my own people, from the Democrats. And so if they want to sit, if anyone, like, because some people are like, oh, we're mad at you. Well, you're mad at me, but when I go and look at my campaign funds, you didn't donate. When I had a campaign event, you didn't come. When I went block walking, you wasn't there. But now you mad at me. You weren't helping. So it's like, you're not helping, you're hurting, and then you want me to do something for you. That's not happening. I'm not a sucker. That's what suckers do. I'm never gonna be a sucker. So I'm gonna go out and do what I need to do for my family, do it in a better way. And now, since I've been off the bench, you know, I've donated to campaigns. You know, I've been able to donate campaigns. I've been able to do what people weren't doing for me. And so I think that's more important, because the suckers weren't doing it. And and anyone can take this any kind of way they want to. I say the same thing I always say. I'm gonna walk down tomorrow. I'll be at court. I'm gonna walk down Congress, go to lunch. You got a problem? Come say something. But the suckers weren't doing nothing. So I just couldn't do that. I'm not doing that.
I mean, how? First of all, let me just speak on these Democrats. The Democratic Party, the Harris County Democratic Party. They try to railroad me. So
I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, so they tried.
In fact,
to
I remember.
Me. Yeah. They didn't want me to run. They did not want